Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL preview video. Today, I'm going to break down the Cleveland Browns, but before I get started, if you've never been here before, this is your first time, I just got one simple question to ask you. Do you like football? Because if so, welcome, because you're in the right place. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring the bell. That way you can be notified every time I come out with a new video. If you're already a subscriber, you know the drill. You go ahead, you like the video, and you drop a comment below with your opinion. Here's how this video works. I'm going to give you 3 things I like about the Cleveland Browns, followed up by 3 things I don't like, but stick around to the very end where I break down the Vegas over-under, and I reveal if I am going to put action down on the Cleveland Browns. Now let's kick it off with the first thing I like about the Cleveland Browns. The first thing I like about the Cleveland Browns is that they have the NFL's best running back duo in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That really isn't debatable. I would personally believe that Nick Chubb's a top 5 running back and Kareem Hunt's a top 10 running back. Now, you could debate that. I don't think that's debatable. But if you argued that Kareem Hunt's on top 10 and Chubb's on top 5, that can be debatable. But the fact that these two together do make the NFL's best duo is an undeniable fact. And the best part is these two really complement each other. Kareem Hunt's more of a receiver. Nick Chubb's more of a bell cow back. And this makes the Cleveland Browns running attack just awesome. And the second thing I like about the Cleveland Browns, which kind of goes hand in hand with the running attack, is I really like the Cleveland Browns offensive line. Last year, the Cleveland Browns drafted Jedrick Wells in the first round, and he ended up being a day one start on the left side and played really well. That's a little unusual for a rookie, but he played really well. Last year, they also signed Jack Conklin, former 8th overall pick, and he ended up starting on the right side, and they also had Joe Bittiano make the Pro Bowl. This year in the 4th round, they drafted James Hudson, the former defensive tackle, played really well in his one starting season at Cincinnati, but he has all the tools to be an elite left tackle. Here in Cleveland, he's going to be the backup, but on a run-heavy team like the Cleveland Browns have, he could end up being a starter on either side, but he's a great swing tackle. So what's really good is you have some really good starters on the offensive line. And then this year you end up getting some really good depth. See, for a run-heavy team like the Cleveland Browns, this offensive line is absolutely fantastic. So with the NFL's best running back duo, this awesome offensive line work hand in hand very well together. The third thing I like about the Cleveland Browns is Myles Garrett. In 2020, the Cleveland Browns gave Myles Garrett a 5-year, $125 million contract extension. Now, keep in mind, at the end of the 2019 season, he was suspended indefinitely, and Roger Goodell went ahead and reinstated him. So before the start of the 2020 season, the Browns gave him this contract extension, and I thought it was a terrible idea. Well, Garrett ended up being a first-team All-Pro. He was named number 16 on the NFL Top 100 players list. And matter of fact, no defensive end was rated higher than Myles Garrett. He was a first-team All-Pro. And as far as defensive players are concerned, only Jalen Ramsey, T.J. Watt, and Aaron Donald were ranked higher than Myles Garrett. Now, the Browns defense is undergoing a massive overhaul. Now, I use Our Lads and Pro Football Reference when doing research for the teams, and using these two tools, only Myles Garrett, Mack Wilson, and Denzel Ward are going to be returning starters from the same defense that started in 2020. So when your defense undergoes a massive overhaul, you need a centerpiece to build around. We got one in Myles Garrett, and when I make a mistake, I own up to it. I thought it was a terrible idea to give Garrett this contract extension. However, if they didn't do it, they would have to pay him big time this year. And after being a first-team All-Pro, there's no way that they get him for the bargain basement price of 5 years and $125 million. So give credit to the Cleveland Browns for taking a risk and signing him to a massive contract after or before the 2020 season. So just to recap the three things I like about the Browns, I like the NFL's best running back duo. I like the offensive line, and I like Myles Garrett. Now, three things I don't like about the Cleveland Browns. The first thing I don't like is all the new defensive starters. Bottom line, week one, they play Kansas City in Kansas City, and is everybody going to be on the same page? I mean, you lose this game, you're immediately behind the eight ball in the AFC playoff picture. I mean, last year you lost to Kansas City in the playoffs, and now you're thinking along the lines of, can we advance past the divisional round? Well, week one's going to be really tough because you're playing the AFC champions in their stadium with a bunch of new defensive starters. You got Greedy Williams and Grant Delpit, who missed all of last year. They missed time in training camp. Matter of fact, Grant Delpit's missed so much time, he's probably not even going to be able to start or even play against Kansas City, despite being expected to. And with all these new starters, they're going to have to get together really fast because that's a tough week one matchup. And you're also in a very difficult division with two playoff teams from last year. This also goes hand in hand with the second thing I don't like about the Cleveland Browns, and that's Javeon Clowney must produce. You have Myles Garrett on one side. Now Clowney, after making 3 straight Pro Bowls from 2016 to 2018, must come back to that form. They're banking on him quite a bit. Now, he did only sign a 1-year contract, but you're aligning him opposite of Myles Garrett, and what you're hoping is to get him to regain that form he had back in 2018. The problem is the last 2 seasons he's had 19 starts and it's only had 3 sacks, including none last year for the Tennessee Titans. I was actually surprised because I didn't think he started 8 games, but according to Pro Football Reference, he did. And by the way, Tennessee's defense was absolutely terrible last year, but in 8 starts, he did have 4 passes defended, 4 tackles for losses, 6 quarterback hits, 19 tackles, but no sacks. Again, he's only on a 1-year deal, but you're trying to advance in the playoffs. So what you're banking on is for Clowney to regain his 2018 form. Another thing that kind of concerns me is that he seems more comfortable in space. It seems like he was better suited to be a 3-4 outside linebacker, not the 4-3 defensive end that Cleveland's going to ask him to play. Hopefully he can produce, because if he doesn't regain that form he had back in 2018, the Cleveland Browns are not going back to the playoffs. Finally, the last thing I don't like about the Cleveland Browns, what goes up? Here's the deal. When teams go from years of double-digit losing seasons to making the playoffs, usually the next year they drop back off. Here's some examples. San Francisco from 2015 to 2018, double-digit losses. They make the Super Bowl in 2019, 6-10 the next year. Chicago from 2014 to 2017, double-digit losses. In 2018, 12-4. 2019, they go 8-8. My Kansas City Chiefs from 2007 to 2009, double-digit losses. They win the division at 10-6. In 2011, 7-9. And then in 2012, they go 2-14. 2013, they jump back up to 11-5. They go from 2 to 11 wins. You can guess what happened in 2014. Yes, they dropped back down to 9 wins. Bottom line, Cleveland Browns have not had back-to-back winning seasons since they've returned to Cleveland in 1999. So depending on how you view the Cleveland Browns organization, if they were to have a winning record this year, it would be the first time in franchise history. So just to recap the 3 things I don't like about the Cleveland Browns, I don't like all the new defensive starters. You're banking on Javeon Clowney to produce. And what goes up now? This is the advanced part of the show. This is the money-making part of the show. This is where I break down the Vegas over-under, and I reveal if I'm going to put action down on the Cleveland Browns. The over-under for the 2021 Browns is at 10.5. Now, over is -120. which means that if you like over 10.5 wins, you have to wager $120 to win 100. Or if you like under 10.5 wins, it's even money. A $100 wager will, of course, win you $100. Now, to make the playoffs, yes is negative 280 and no is plus 240. And for the Browns to win the division is plus 140. Now, I'm going to skip betting on the Browns this year, but if I was going to bet on the Browns, I like the under. Not only would I recommend betting the under, I would actually take a small amount for the Browns to miss the playoffs at plus 240. Now, here's a team with some major holes on defense, and to miss the playoffs, you're getting about 2.5 to 1 odds. So I really think that if you're going to bet on the Browns, I strongly suggest take the under and put somewhere between 5 and 20% of your bet spread on them to miss the playoffs, because you're getting a really good number in plus 240. Now, here's the question with the Browns. I do think that they're not going to win 11 games this year. Do they win 9 to 10 games, or do they go back to having a losing record? Just a reminder, everybody was sky high on the Browns in 2019, and they ended up 6-10. So just a friendly reminder. Now, if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget, like this video and drop a comment below. I make these videos as a conversation starter. I go ahead and I give my opinion, but really I want to hear from you, and I want to hear what you think. Now, tomorrow I am breaking down the Baltimore Ravens, so I will see you tomorrow.